Hey, what's up? This is Cody from Dark Sales Entertainment. I'm here this month with Subdivisions, band from Atlanta, Georgia.
Sorry, boys.
What's up, guys?
What's going on?
John, man,
How are you?
doing?
Doing good, doing good. So introduce yourself.
I'm Will, and I play drums for Subdivisions.
I'm Joe. I do vocals.
Yeah, and who are we missing?
Lee.
Who's
our
a guitarist? Brian,
James.
our other guitarist, and then James Ashworth, our bass player.
Okay, cool. So tell me a little bit about the name. Where did you guys come up with the name? How did that come about?
Pretty much we're just named after a Rush song. We're all big fans of it. Just in general, we sound nothing like them, but it's the name stuck. And
Well, that's a bit subjective. So Brian Nichols, our one of our guitar players. So we were in a band prior to the formation of Subdivisions, and around 2009, we were like, let's just change the name, new star, whatever. And Brian was like, hey, we're all Rush fans. Him being the biggest one in the band, and was like, how about Subdivisions? And it stuck, and 15 years later,
Hey,
yeah.
if it works, it works. I'm a Rush fan. I like Rush. So tell me a little bit about being a local band in Atlanta. What's it been like in the scene lately?
As of lately, it's been really, really good. Being in the scene as long as we have, we've definitely had our, in a sense, brother bands or other like bands in the scene that we play a lot of shows with, and that we've just kind of established a solid friendship with. So kind of started back around the 2009-2010 time with old band Eyes of Torment.
Mm-hmm.
Later became Anti-Cathera Mechanism, and then like Adharma and like All American Organ Grinder after that, and they're all still like great friends of ours. Some of the members that were in those bands are no longer playing in bands anymore, but a lot of them are. So seeing kind of how over the course of time you've seen these guys that have played in 3, 4, 5 different bands that our band has played alongside, and it's just been a good sense of camaraderie that we have with that.
Yeah.
We've just tried to take and play as many shows as we can. It's definitely
Yeah, you guys play a lot. That's great. I see a lot of posters with you guys on them and playing with a lot of different varieties of bands too.
well, and that's kind of a big thing for us where we're at right now. We play like mainly metal or hardcore, but we probably love playing with like punk bands just as much because at a show like that you kind of get people that have maybe seen you like long time ago, or it's the first time seeing you where they might not normally at a other like genre show.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's definitely been something over the course of the past probably 2 years we've tried to branch out more. But we just like staying busy. We, for the most part, as long as we don't have anything else going on, we'd much rather be playing shows.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Yeah, makes sense. So tell me a little bit about the tour. You guys went on tour last summer with Violent System. I was there for most of it, not all of it, but Dark Sales put together a tour, put Violent System, Subdivisions, and Truth to Power on the road. Went and did 12 big dates and 12 different cities around the Southeast. It was pretty cool. But tell me a little bit about your experience with that.
Honestly, it was a blast. Like, we had a lot of fun with the guys. It was actually kind of really cool to get to know Truth to Power and Violent System actually a lot better than we already knew them. And hell, I don't know, it was fun as hell. Can't wait to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, for basically playing every surrounding state for the state of Georgia with Truth to Power and Violent System. You only kind of get to know people playing shows with them like in a local setting, but when you're traveling, miles and miles and staying overnight in these places, you kind of get to really see who they are aside from the band.
You get to see the real dynamics.
Yeah, but no, it was completely awesome. Had some really good memorable times with those guys.
Yeah, I did too, man. It was awesome. I didn't make every date, but I had a good time with you guys out on the road, and
you made all the best ones.
Yeah, I made a lot of the good ones. That's good. Yeah, so tell me a little bit about your experience with writing. I mean, how do you guys write songs? How do you guys come together and put a song together?
That's kind of a unique question because we're kind of unconventional in our writing process with the day and age to where, you know, everybody's basically got a pre-production rig at their disposal.
Right.
We kind of opt for the more traditional old school sense to where we just basically get all 5 of us, or basically 4 of us, sans Joe, in a room together, and we just bounce ideas off each other. So, yeah, Brian and Lee both kind of have their own riffs that, you know, they kind of bring to the table, but the collaboration process really kind of helps in the way of the composition aspect of it. And then from a rhythm section standpoint, me and James basically just take it and roll with it. Might you know, work with different syncopations, or like, oh, hey, try this here. So it's easier said than done a lot of times, because there's some instances where you just feel like you want to pull your hair out. And writer's block is a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
And can definitely make or break a band practice. But we keep a pretty regular schedule, like at least once a week normally. So if we reach that point, it's like, all right, let's just put this on ice until next week or something. And
Right.
sometimes that's all it takes to really be able to get the ball
Yeah,
continuing.
take it home and hash it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Joe? When you write vocals and lyrics and everything, do you have stuff already written, or do you write after the song's done and everything's done?
Usually have kind of like a rough skeleton of like what I want. It's like, hey, this is kind of the idea of what I want to write the song about, and then as we're kind of writing the song, seeing where that goes, I start trying to come up with better like lyric patterns and stuff like that to fit in those certain spots of it as like kind of the song is forming. But usually it's like definitely having like a rough skeleton of an idea in your head, and then just hopefully just trying to build on it.
And then we'll typically use like code names for our songs if
Yeah.
they're not titled yet. Usually just something to help us identify that
What it
makes
is,
us makes us
until we
laugh
actually-
a little bit.
Yeah, come up with and sometimes the code name just sticks and has nothing to do with the song.
Yeah.
Or it's a variant of it.
Yeah, we
Like-
had stupid names like Spaghetti Monster and stuff like that.
Well, for the longest time for our song Far Beyond, we would call it Far Beyond Chillin'.
Yeah.
And then we just dropped the chillin', and that's how,
What
you
it
know.
became.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's been, you know, pretty much the closer of our set list for the past like 2 years.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me a little bit about inspiration, since we're talking about writing, right? So like, you know, who do you guys look to as inspiration, or who really inspires you or influences kind of what you write and how you do your thing?
God, like just in general, like really just all like everything that I constantly listened to growing up, and just like a lot of stuff with us. It's like always, you know, the way Kill Switch Engage writes a song. You know, it's very, you know, deliberate of what you're actually, you know, deliberate and not deliberate at the same time, especially with like the lyrics and stuff like that. I'm definitely a big fan of that. But also just trying to like, you know, it's kind of with the mixed genre shows and stuff like that. It's trying to get outside of your own box and listening to other kind of music outside of it, and then hopefully kind of picking up on stuff that you can even like, you know, bring into what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, as far as all 5 of us, you'd probably get, you know, all 5 of us to get to
Oh, I
say.
get some weird answers.
Oh, yeah.
I know
Um,
Lee listens to some weird stuff.
Sure. I mean, I would say, well, like, as far as probably the core of, well,
I'm not gonna say weird. Let's say obscure.
That's a
better-
nice
a
way to
better
put
word,
it.
obscure.
I mean,
Nice.
yeah, to generalize it, we're big fans of like early 2000s metalcore,
Yeah.
like Poison the Well.
Well, that's what we grew up with, right?
Sure,
We're
yeah,
all about
and
the same age.
and,
On Earth.
and there's definitely been a resurgence of that. I feel like within the past like 3 to 5 years, where you know some of these younger kids are like, oh, hearing you know Poison the Well or like you know 18 Visions for the first time, and it's
Oh, yeah.
like we've been listening to these bands for over 20 years,
Oh, yeah, dude.
and you know
Until the ink runs out.
it's yeah. Well, and
Been playing that since high school, man.
well, and yeah, a band like 18 Visions, they just re-released their albums Vanity and Obsession,
Obsession, yeah.
and like doing all these anniversary shows for it. But yeah, I mean those are big ones.
And it's really only like the singer. Like, I don't think anybody else is the original band. I don't think.
Well, like with that Southern California kind of metalcore surge of the early 2000s, I mean, it was very kind of ancestral how they were in the different bands, because like, you know, Throwdown, 18 Visions, and like Bleeding Through, they all shared, you know, similar members at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, like Avenged Sevenfold, they were kind of in the mix, and then like mid 2000s, like 2005, they just kind of took a complete different trajectory of where they were going. But yeah, I mean, it's like all just homies that were playing in different light bands, and it's like, oh, this band needs a drummer for this tour. Cool, we got it, you know. So, but aside from that, yeah, Every Time I Die is a huge one. Will always be huge one. We're big into punk rock.
Yeah.
Bro, they're a local Atlanta band.
I saw that. I looked twice at your shirt. I was like, Braves, bro. No.
Yeah, we saw them a couple months ago at Boggs Social Supply, and kind of like forcefully like made friends with those guys. Just like, dude, y'all are sick.
Yeah.
So hopefully between now and the end of the year, we'll get a show with them, because yeah, that's just like, we think that it would be a good mix of two bands that don't really sound too much like each other, but at the same time like have all the same foundation of where they come from.
Yeah.
So and James likes yacht rock a lot.
Yeah, James, our
Like
bass
that.
player, is really into yacht rock.
Yeah, like Michael
Yeah.
McDonald. And, yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
But that kind of goes for
That makes sense. That makes sense. If you know James, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so Leaf Blower, so you
Oh,
got
yeah.
that shirt
Shout
on.
out Leaf Blower. What's up, boys?
Yeah, so that's another big local band that's really been popping off lately.
And that's one of those local bands that we've known most of the guys in that band and have played.
Other bands.
Yeah, well, like, yeah, their vocalist Tim, he was an All-American Organ Grinder, Harvester, Sunseed. Chris Malillo, he was in Seconds to Infinity, Shrine,
Jesse.
Ethiel back in the day, like way back in the day.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like, we're based in Gwinnett, a little north of Atlanta, and it's like 6 degrees of separation with all these different people playing in these bands. It's like, oh, you played in that band, we played a show with you guys back in like 2013 at this venue that doesn't exist anymore, or whatnot. So yeah, seeing like all these people kind of come back around, and it's like, hey, I remember you, you know? And it's like, I'm just always so glad to see that people are still playing. Yeah, Leaf Blower's sick. Check out Leaf Blower.
Check out Leaf Blower.
They're awesome.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about what you guys have planned for the future. What's coming about?
You want to take this one, Joey?
Okay. Well, we got we're actually lucky enough to play with the guys in Violent System coming up on July 5th for their album release set show, and that's going to be really
Alter,
fun.
the Masquerade, the new stage.
Yep.
It's our first time playing at the new Kenny's Alley Masquerade, so we are absolutely stoked about that since...
They have food now.
Yeah.
And it's actually not bad. It's
Yeah.
actually good food. I tried it.
Fair.
It wasn't like, 5-star meal, but it was,
Hey,
it was for Masquerade. It was
some
pretty
chicken
damn good.
tendies for the boys, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was better than nothing, and there's nothing around the Masquerade at all.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, the 695 North Avenue Masquerade is near and dear to our heart. We played at all 3 stages at the old Masquerade, not to mention, seeing some of our biggest inspirations and favorite bands in the world on one of those 3 stages.
It's surprising that we weren't all friends before, because I came up in that same era, listening to all the same music, going to all the same shows. Just shows you how big the scene is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I remember Furnace Fest 2021. Like, we bumped into each other, and like that's where we kind of talked, and we were like, hey, like, let's work together and stuff, and we were like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was the Furnace Fest that was delayed like a year and a half.
Yep.
And then it finally happened, and it was awesome. And and they kind of definitely kind of rekindled this. So
Yeah.
but yeah, the Masquerade show we're playing with Abattoir 6 and us and Violent System. And then after that we're playing July 11th at the Star Bar in Little 5 Points with
That's a Dark Sales show.
brought to you by
Dark
Dark Sales
Sales.
Entertainment with Death Blender, True to Power, and Anger Within, which I'm really stoked
Awesome
about.
bands.
And then we're playing the Slamboree on July 13th at Atlanta Utility Works.
Which is
Also
Slackjaw.
a Dark Sales sponsored event.
Yep.
Slackjaw is one of the headliners on that. God Tongue is another one of the bands. I think Insomnia is on that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So-
a sick lineup.
Yeah,
Cool
a
stuff.
dozen bands.
There's gonna be like professional wrestling and stuff going on at the same time.
Professional wrestling.
Yeah, come party at the Slamboree, guys.
No,
gonna
it's
be
legit
awesome.
wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I
gonna
sponsored the ring.
Yeah.
Like the ring that they're putting up, I sponsored the ring.
Yeah,
So,
dude, we gotta make sure we don't suck too hard. All right.
They should have our name around the. I can't wait to see the ring because our name's supposed to be around the skirt.
Oh, that is
At least
so
that's what Sid told
sick.
me.
Shout out Dark Sales Entertainment.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we've got something planned for that, which
Yeah.
if you want to see what we got,
Please come hang out.
July 13th at Atlanta
Summer.
Utility Works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as far as we're definitely had a busy like start of the summer, second half of June into the month of July, and then we're gonna cap it all off with July 27th. We're playing the free concert series at Little Five Points that is being headlined by Silly Goose.
Yeah.
And Joe and I actually went to the first one. Not sure when this is coming up, but it was on June 15th, I think.
16th or
It was that weekend.
yeah,
It doesn't
that
matter.
weekend.
Yeah.
But it was awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
It
yeah,
was
like,
fun. Had a good time.
yeah, shout out to Terminus Hate City,
Sid Howell Entertainment.
Ryan Buck, and of course, Cody from Dark Sales Entertainment for helping
Yeah.
put that together. Because, yeah, it's like, it feels like a Warped Tour, like Furnace Fest, but like, scaled down, like
And
behind, yeah.
No, it's cool.
And
it's
free,
a
yeah.
show in the
Free.
middle of Little 5 Points. It was cool.
Yeah, we had an
Can't wait to
absolute
play the
blast,
next
and
one.
yeah, we were texting the other guys in the band that weren't there, just like, this is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we had a good
So
time.
yeah,
We had
no,
a
so
good time.
it's definitely gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah.
All right. So with the tour, tell me a little bit about the tour and what was like one of your favorite shows on this tour. What was one of the favorite spots?
I mean, every show we played definitely had its elements for being both positive and maybe not so positive, but that's just how it goes sometimes. But one that really caught me off guard, just how awesome of a show was when we played at Jackrabbits in Jacksonville.
Oh yeah. It was a lot of fun. Crowd was cool. It was a cool little venue, and it was just I had a blast down there. Like it was one of the like random spots. I was like, all right, dang, we should have played 2 shows in Jacksonville. This was fun. Yeah, and I had a great time.
Yeah, great crowd. Crowd response was just awesome. And then it's funny because the next night we played in Valdosta, Georgia, where we got to the venue probably at like 4:30, and I think we ended up playing at like 12:15 at night.
Yeah,
And it was
hands down one of the hottest days.
so freaking hot.
Yep.
Like, yeah, like all of
I
us.
got at the Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
next door.
But also,
And there's a
cool
headshot.
crowd, had a great time.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie, it
Yeah.
was a blast.
But yeah, by the end of it, we were just like, I'm melting. Like I just want to sit in air conditioning
Oh, yeah.
and.
It was a blast. It was worth all of it. Even the sweat, it was fun.
Yeah, it was a hot summer.
Yeah.
Definitely a hot summer.
Yeah, next one we do, we'll probably be aiming towards a fall or winter, if we can. But yeah,
This comes with the territory, man.
early spring.
We know what we signed up for.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.